Is Trump the most corrupt president? Without a doubt. Donald Trump has made over $5 billion just in the 18 months he has been in office. Donors have been given contracts for businesses, high political positions. He promotes personal goods, profits to which go toward the companies owned by his family or companies owned by donors. Trump has also pardoned financial criminals as well as political criminals. If you want to know if a politician has authoritarian aspirations, see how they talk about the press. Do they label them as corrupt, as fake news? Do they try and discredit the free press? If so, you're in the presence of someone who has autocratic ambitions. From Mussolini beating up the opposition journalist Piero Gobetti in the early 1920s, when he was still trying to become a dictator, to Hitler outlawing criticism in art and culture and in the press in the 1930s, media capture is an integral part of the authoritarian playbook.
The recommendation algorithm serving American users would be retrained, tested, and updated within a framework overseen by the new US-based structure, creating a model where the government increasingly demands local control over information systems. First, Oracle became deeply embedded inside governments, corporations, and critical infrastructure. Then the Ellisons acquired Paramount and gained influence over CBS. Then they began pursuing Warner Brothers Discovery, which would bring CNN and HBO in there as well.
The version of reality he wants promoted must be the only reality that Americans hear. Every autocracy targets certain groups who are said to be not only a threat to public safety, but to the entire country and to civilization itself.
I think the bigger problem is the enemy from within, not even the people that have come in and destroying our country. It is the enemy from within, and they're very dangerous. They're Marxists and communists and fascists.
LGBTQ groups have been targeted by autocrats throughout history, from the Nazis who sent LGBTQ people to concentration camps, to Hungary of Orban, the Italy of Giorgia Meloni, who say they're a danger to the, quote, natural family, which is one man, one woman, both straight. Nomadic peoples, Muslims are targeted around the world today. Think of in India, Modi, convincing the population that these groups pose a threat to the country's national identity, which must be Hindu. In the United States and Europe, it's been non-whites and immigrants often targeted. Immigrants are said to be eating cats and dogs. They're likened to vermin. They're dehumanized, all to create an environment that will lead people to think that perhaps violence or detention or deportation is the answer. Donald Trump pardoned the January 6 rioters who assaulted the Capitol and threatened Republican as well as Democratic lawmakers.
3 of the Blackwater guards were sentenced to 30 years in prison, and a 4th received a life sentence, each for their roles in killing 14 unarmed Iraqi civilians and injuring 17 others. Their actions against civilians, murder and voluntary and attempted manslaughter, are war crimes. The Nisour Square massacre sparked international outrage over the use of private mercenaries in war, but that didn't stop the U.S. government from paying Blackwater over $1 billion to protect U.S. interests anyway, or now from pardoning these mass killers.
We know that Trump loves dictators. He even has talked about exchanging love letters with the leader of North Korea, not someone you would often think of as a particularly sentimental type.
Mr. Kim, here at the White House?
Could happen. I mean,
they talked about that yesterday with Mike Pompeo.
Yeah, I think it's something that could happen. Yeah. Hey, he's the head of a country, and I mean, he is the strongest. Hey, yeah. Don't let anyone think anything different. Right. He speaks and his people sit up at attention. I want my people to do the same.
Colleagues, over the last year and a half, our president, Donald Trump, has turned the White House into a 24/7 corruption operation. This is a national crisis, and we should start acting like it. The president's goal is to engage in so much corruption, so much self-enrichment, to hand out so many favors to his friends, his family, and his political allies that it just becomes the pitter-patter of rain. It's normal, it's constant, it's never-ending. Trump's bet is that if there's a new story of corruption, of self-dealing, every few days, that the press will stop covering it, or the public will just stop paying attention. To an extent, he is tragically succeeding. But he's also betting that the public will just come to the conclusion that this is normal because all of our politics are this corrupt, that every senator, that every previous president is this corrupt. That is not true. While I disagree with my Senate Republican colleagues' decision to largely remain silent in the face of this misconduct, it is true that not a single senator on either side of the aisle engages in the behavior that our president does. Senators, Republicans and Democrats, do not trade our votes for cash or for political contributions. We don't run side hustles like crypto companies. Senators don't give contracts to their kids just because we can. And no president in the history of this country has done what Donald Trump has done. No president has done 5% of the self-dealing that Donald Trump has done in the last year and a half. This moment is exceptional. It is a one-of-one moment. And if it becomes normal, if people stop being outraged at what he is doing to enrich himself, then I fear there is no going back. The White House will just become a place to get rich.